Hello survivors and welcome to another video. In this video we're going to be taking a first look at Denise, who is an upcoming 6-star character. We'll look at her stats first: 1491 attack, 2023 defense and 1810 HP. So based off of her stats, she could be a very good defensive character. She's got a great baseline for what you'd want to build upon with weapons, mods, leader skills. She is a tough traded medic and her rush is called Lasting Restore. All teammates recover from heal reduction, so it's a full cleanse of heal reduction, and with the introduction of characters like Dale, who have full team heal reduction, it is actually pretty useful to have this sort of character. Up to 4 teammates regain up to 25% of their max HP for 4 turns and get 60% defense, which decreases by 15% each turn for 4 turns. Very strange second half of the rush. I think it would have just been better and a better selling point to just have it so that it was all teammates regain up to 25% of their max HP for 4 turns and get 60% defense. The fact that the defense decreases every turn is kind of, I guess, not as great. It will take only 2 turns to get the rush back, and then on the 3rd turn it will rush again, so that's not too bad on a defense team. But I don't know, I just think it's such a minimal difference. Someone can look at that, not everyone on my team is going to get this buff pass, and that could be the case. However, the active skill is insane. It is the first dual revive in the 6-star era, and it is going to come in the active skill first. It is, however, very, very slow. It has an initial cooldown of 8, and the effect is revive 2 teammates at 50% of their max HP. Now that initial cooldown is horrible. It is so long, potentially some raids are finished by that point. So the revive won't have anyone to pick up. Forget about decapitates. There won't be anyone alive at this point, including Denise. The revive 2 is really, really nice, however, and the fact that they're revived at 50% of their max HP is great. However, I think most people would probably be happy with it just reviving 1 and it taking less turns. The 8 turns, very questionable. It takes 8 turns to do it a second time as well. So the initial cooldown is 8 and then the comeback time is 8 as well. Now she has got a very nice specialist skill. I do like Neutralize. Basically what Neutralize does is a 90% or above, an Adrenaline Rush procs Neutralize on this character. You can see the Neutralize icon light up, so you know someone's got their rush. With the new update, you'll actually be able to see it in the bar as well. I guess you'll see which characters are close to 100%. And if she attacks that character, it will stop them from being able to rush. It will impair them for 1 turn. That impair can be resisted, but not too many people do run impair resist. So that could be actually very, very viable in terms of it will happen every time. Basically how Neutralize used to work. So it is actually a pretty good specialist skill. And when it's on a defense team, they generally do target characters who are going to rush. So it is actually an auto focus on a character who will rush. And seeing as this character has no offensive capability, that's kind of what you want her to do, is just to attack someone to just neutralize them. Now she has got a special weapon, and it's a kind of a weird one. It's just a defensive weapon, but I would say it's probably not as strong as a potential blue weapon can be. It is 30% HP, 15% defense, and the special is actually a trait crit special for strongs, and obviously this one's on toughs. AP down, when being attacked, a better chance to cause -30 AP to the enemy. So this is just Raider 3 on strong weapons. Obviously you can build this in the armory, and if you compare this to the option that obviously blues can get, which is impair on defense, most people would probably say impair on defense is better. If you do AP down, effectively, sure, they lose a turn, and the next turn they can get their rush, or the next turn they can get the AP, and the turn after they can get AP. With impair on defense, if it procs and it hits them and everything goes through, and they don't have a cleanse, they can't get the rush for at least the next 3 turns. So it's much stronger. But you can obviously cleanse it. You can cleanse impair, whereas you cannot cleanse AP down. So it's debatable between the two, which can be more annoying. So obviously it comes down to your attack team, the way you've set it up. Some people run with cleanses. This obviously would be 100% nullified by disarm instantly, so for a lot of people it doesn't really matter either way. So this is Denise. I'm not sure what sort of character she's going to be. I would assume she's going to be a promo character. I think she'd work reasonably well behind an Eric. She's a medic. She's going to be doing those cleanses of heal reduction. Everyone's going to be getting a little bit of a heal. But unfortunately, a lot of tough characters recently being given defense buffs. This is 60%, I think Douglas has 50%, and I think Eric has 40%. These do not stack, so the highest one just overrides the other ones. So that's 3 parts of a lot of these characters' rushes that are basically useless. None of these characters are providing attack or maybe something else. This could have been focus. This could have been, I don't know why it could have been that would have been more useful, but it could have been something different, not defense. It could have been a maybe bonus HP, you know. That is something that blues maybe lack a little bit in terms of the buffs. But that's the way it is. I think she is a reasonably decent character, but it's kind of a little bit of a miss for me in that the active skill is going to take too long to go off. I think Revive 1 with, I think the initial cooldown is 5 turns, is much stronger. Even though it does revive less, it's just actually going to happen. And I think the second part of that rush, if everybody got healed and everyone got the defense buff, it would have been a better selling point. And like I said, I think the defense is just sort of there because there was nothing else they could think of in terms of adding onto it. I think there could have been something different on the second half of that rush. It's a shame as well because the specialist skill is really good. The weapon has maybe some potential. The character looks great. The bow looks awesome. And it's just maybe a little bit of a shame. But I think the character is kind of average. She is Generation 2, so she's got much, you know, boosted stats. And like I said, she has got very good balanced stats towards defensive teams. But I don't think there's really the team for her just yet. Maybe there's more leaders coming out in the future. Maybe there's certain teams that can come out in the future. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm missing something. The heal reduction removal is pretty much the biggest selling point for me because that can be an issue against characters that have come out like Dale, for instance. Do tell me what you think about Denise. That's the end of my video. Thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, guys, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.